Hey, ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM, half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got yours here truly. I am practically the one-man wrestling podcast machine. I am Boom Boom, the sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio, coming to you live from Richmond, Virginia. Of course, we're going to talk a little Ring of Honor. I'm going to review the March 2nd, 2016 edition that was broadcast from Nashville, Tennessee, presented on Comet Television. Of course, the first question I'm going to ask is, first question I ask on every review that we do, what do you give the show? Do you give it a win, a loss, or a tie? So over here in the chat room or down here in the doobly-doo, just let me know what you thought about the show, win, loss, or tie. Overall, I'm going to give it a win because I did enjoy it. There was some minor lull points, but nothing too serious. I enjoyed it, so let's get right down with it. First match, we had Silas Young teaming up with the Beer City Bruiser to take on the Boys. That's right, Dalton Castle's Boys. And by the way, speaking of the Boys, I've just got a quick question here. Just message me if you know. Are the Boys, do they actually have names? Because I've never heard anybody say anything about their names. And are they brothers? They look an awful lot alike. Now, I know at one point, and this is going way back here, but this is way back. Back in the days of Deep South Wrestling, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins were actually a tag team, and they were called the Major Brothers. They look similar, but they've been friends since they were kids. So kind of way they were passed off as brothers. So that's why they came up with the Major Brothers, and eventually they made them go by their Zack Hawkins and Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, and they became the Edgeheads. That whole team there. So just curious about that. Silas Young, let's say they ran off Dalton Castle at the beginning of the match. And anyway, Silas Young, was obviously, cursing out the Boys and said that he was so confident that he could beat them, he would put his career on the line in this tag team match. The tag team match actually was not that bad. This thing went about 10 minutes. And I'll give props to the Boys. They weren't perfect, but they looked pretty good. At least they were, because Silas Young and the Beer City Bruiser really sold for them. They had, a pretty good look in there. I like the face buster that they did from the top, that assisted leg drop. They had some real opportunities to get some wins, to get a win there, but ultimately they didn't pull it out. One of the Boys got flung in the corner, and the other one was trying to put a sleeper hold on the Beer City Bruiser. He went back and boxed them both into a corner, and then he went. Beer City Bruiser hit like a running, butt jump, however you want to say that basically that running slam that Umaga used to hit in the corner. That was followed up by a knee with Silas Young, and then the Beer City Bruiser went back and did a cannonball splash on both the Boys in the corner. They pulled out one and got the 1, 2, 3. They started to put the boots to the Boys. This brought out Dalton Castle. They hit a flapjack on Dalton Castle, laid him out. The bad guys walk out victorious. I thought it was a pretty decent match. I know the Boys fucked up a cutter. It was I think it was Silas was doing a back basically like a flying body press, and it was going to try to go into a cutter, but he messed up on it. It looked like he uppercutted him, but nothing too bad, but it looked all right. And speaking of Dalton Castle, I will say this. Dalton Castle really changed my opinion of him these past couple of weeks. He really kind of got my attention as like a serious competitor come when they did Honor Rising over in Japan. He reminds me of a lot of the exotic Adrian Street. I wouldn't say, obviously everyone's like, oh, his character's gay. No, well, he's never really straight up said his character's gay. His character's flamboyant, and I think there's a lot of that mystery right there. And I think that's important. But he's really turned out some good matches, and he really turned out some good matches with Goto. You know, fucking Hiroki Goto, man, if you can go fucking one-on-one Hiroki Goto, man, you're a fucking badass, man. So, and plus he did an amazing job against, I think that was the 14th anniversary special. Yeah, and then he had that match against, he had a tag team match where he lost to, I think, Liger and Sydal, and then he won a match against Frankie Kazarian over in Japan. He's somebody, he's really, yeah, he really changed my mind on him. So my hats off to Dalton Castle for changing my opinion. So, and not that I had a bad opinion of him, it's just that I just didn't get it. I did not get his shtick. I didn't get the whole Peacock thing. I'm kind of getting it now, and he's a hell of a performer. He's red hot right now, and I just wish they would hurry up and wrap up on the Silas Young feud, and they can move him off to something else. I would say at least right now, kind of build off of this, give him another challenge, or hell, start building him up to get ready to go in and compete for the television title. I really think that I think Dalton Castle would be better served as the television champion in Ring of Honor. I mean, he's over with the crowd. That would just be right up his character's alley because his character is very flamboyant, likes to be seen, likes to show off. So why not go for the television championship? It makes sense. Now, of course, you have to go through Ishii, which is easier said than done. But no, good match, good opener. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Then we get to the Top Prospect tournament. We have two semifinal matches. The first one was Brian Fury versus Action Ortiz. This match was okay. I mean, this thing didn't even go 5 minutes, immersively so. Action Ortiz just looked out of shape. I think they said he was like a former MMA fighter that switched over to professional wrestling, and I guess I can see why. And there's Brian Fury. He's practically been wrestling for 20 years, thought about, had been training people, thought about hanging it up, and somehow got into this. This had a very odd ending. Ortiz had Brian Fury, and he punched him in the face or something. Fury ran into like his right arm, and as soon as Fury fell back, all of a sudden I see Ortiz just grab his crotch. Now I don't know if this was shoot or if this was script or whatever, but he hit him right, as Mr. Wrestling 3 would say, right in the ding ding. Then he hit him with basically a sky high. That'll move that D'Lo Brown used to do, and just hit him with that. Got the 1, 2, 3. So he's moving on to the finals. Then he said, it feels fantastic. He doesn't care who he's facing, and it's his time. So I like Brian Fury there. But we get to the next match here. This kind of blew my mind because I wasn't expecting too terribly much out of that. Leo Rush versus Punisher Martinez. Leo Rush got a pretty good win in the first round. Punisher Martinez is the guy who destroyed Colby Carino. This went a little bit longer. Leo Rush reminds me of a lot of ACH. Yeah, he's a short guy, but oh my God, this kid's got a very impressive physique. I may have to email this guy and be like, dude, what's your fucking routine, man? Because this guy doesn't look like he's had a fucking carb in like 2 years. He's got a really good physique. I believe it or not, I think he might actually be shorter than me, and that's saying something because I'm not that tall of a guy. I know Martinez was already a big guy to begin with, but he looked like a fucking 7-foot giant compared to Leo Rush. This was actually a pretty good match, especially not knowing too much about these two other than the previous matches that they had been in. They had some nice exchanges where they were trying to connect and missing, like something out of a martial arts movie. That got a big pop from the crowd. Leo Rush, was playing like the scrappy underdog. He was trying to, stick and move, but Martinez always had some kind of answer for it. They took it to the outside. They got back into the ring. It looked like they were setting up. Martinez was going to set Leo Rush up for like this choke slam off the top rope, but Leo Rush reversed it. I don't know what the name of this move is, so maybe you can message me if you know what it is. I think Frankie Kazarian did it at one point, called it the flux capacitor. But as he was going down, he did like this flip and reversed it into like this flatliner. dude, you need to watch it. That's just fucking worth it. Dude, bro, it's fucking worth it. And he gets the pin, gets the win. He goes to the final, so it's going to be Lio Rush versus Brian Fury. I like Lio Rush in this. I think there's just more of an upside with Lio Rush with this. I would like to see him take on God. What was the guy? Matt Ferrara. I'd like to see him take on him or ACH. That's what I like to see Lio Rush. I just think there's more of an upside with him versus Brian Fury. No disrespect to Brian Fury, he did a great job. He belongs there. And I would also suggest to Ring of Honor signing Punisher Martinez. I would probably change his name up a little bit or give him a little bit different of a gimmick. But the guy's tall. He's got a good look. I would give him some more bookings, to see if things would pan out. Then we go ahead. Oh God, man, we're already at the main event. Hell yeah, I guess we are. We get to the main event, which is Matt Sydal. He's one half of the IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions, along with a little guy by the name of Ricochet. Maybe you've heard of him. Versus Adam Cole, baby. I thought this was going to be Adam Cole all the way because he did mention that, in the preview for this, that the last time they fought, Adam Cole, got the solid win. This turned into like a damn slugfest. Let me tell you something. When you talk about people with, as JR would say, educated feet, you would talk about, like somebody like Rob Van Dam. Adam Cole wouldn't initially come to your mind, but dude, he was hitting some shining wizards and some super kicks in there like you wouldn't believe. He really took it to him, but Sydal kept coming back. Eventually, Adam Cole's luck ran out. He missed a shining wizard. Sydal hit the spin kick. Cole came back with a super kick. Sydal hit that jumping knee strike. Then Cole fired back with a couple of super kicks of his own. He picked up Sydal. Sydal reversed it with that reversed Frankensteiner that he does. Then went to the top rope, hit the shooting star press, got the win. This was fucking huge. This was a great match. This thing went went just over 10 minutes. I'm hoping this creates a new opponent or somebody for Jay Lethal, because they're going to have to just rebuild up Red Dragon and Adam Cole, baby, after losing at the 14th anniversary special. So there needs to be some new competition for the champion, and we need to start thinking about who's going to defeat Jay Lethal. I don't know who I would put over. Matthew Lopez, I'd like to thank him for joining us. He says that Adam Cole versus Matt Sydal was so good. So I assume, sir, you would give the show a win. So I do. I give it a win. Which is actually kind of surprising for these shows, because typically speaking with Ring of Honor, after they do these, they have this thing where after these pay-per-views, they go into what I call a lull period, where you can literally miss every show that Ring of Honor does for the next month, and you won't miss anything because nothing of consequence happens. Yeah, they have some decent matches on there, but they don't have anything really big happen. And then about a month or so, they kind of start building up the next programs, and they do nice builds up to their pay-per-views. But once the pay-per-view hits, you can take a break. And I was actually kind of shocked, because if it wasn't for LK, saying, "Hey man, can you help me out with this?" I don't know if I would have watched it, but I watched it, and I was glad I did. I was very glad I did. This was actually turned out to be a pretty good show. I don't know if that was because it was actually a good show, or that I had such low expectations of it that anything that was good was going to blow my mind. But no, in dead seriousness, I'm being dead serious. I really did enjoy it. If you're on the fence about watching it, I would say check it out. But in the meantime, I would say check out KocoSports.com. KocoSports.net takes you to the same place. It's your home for combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass. And most importantly, where it's okay to be a professional wrestling fan. Also, be sure to check out ProWrestling.me. That's right, it's not a .com. It's ProWrestling.me. It's a pro wrestling pub for professional wrestling fans. We've got news, gossip on there. We've also got a forums and blog page. You can kind of communicate with each other. If you got something you want to say about the state of professional wrestling, you can put it on there. It's all uncut, uncensored, so be sure to sign up. It's absolutely, positively 100% free. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We're trying to crank out shows at least once a day. Hopefully things will get back to normal this week. Dave Koco, who, he usually handles the bulk of the reviews, he's actually got a book coming out. It's called Operation Freak Show. It should be available sooner rather than later. It's kind of been delayed. He's handling, I mean, it's just like little bitty stuff, like final edits and, cover art, stuff like that. He's trying to get all that stuff finalized on top of his, running like his 250 companies and 9,000 countries across the world. Maybe that's an exaggeration. Raising his 52 kids, taking care of his 14 wives and his 97 mother-in-laws, bottle feeding, orphan puppies, reading to the blind, doing all this, whatever charity work he does. And then LK, he's been under the weather as of late. He's been working a lot. He's also a student too, so that's taking us toll. So I'm just filling in and helping out for everybody. Not that I mind doing it, because hell, just more time for me. So be sure to check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and like this video if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time. So this is Boom Boom, and for my partners Dave Koco and LK, I am over.